600 ships are anchored outside the Strait of Hormuz right now, not delayed by weather. Tankers the size of skyscrapers, loaded with crude oil worth hundreds of millions of dollars, sitting motionless. They are in open water with nowhere to go, creating an eerie sense of global paralysis. Just weeks ago, an advanced naval force completed a 39-day campaign, dismantling Iran's military. Warships destroyed, submarines sent to the seafloor, billions of dollars of hardware reduced to wreckage. By every traditional definition, it was a decisive victory, a clear triumph of military might. And yet, despite this victory, the strait is still closed, not because of fleets or blockades. It's closed because of objects smaller than a refrigerator, resting silently on the seabed. Naval mines, weapons that cost as little as $1,000, or even less. The answer begins with geography. The Strait of Hormuz is not wide. At its narrowest point, it stretches just over 20 miles. The actual shipping lanes are even tighter. Every ship entering or leaving the Persian Gulf must pass through these narrow corridors. Through them flows the energy supply for a large portion of the modern world. Oil and gas from multiple nations move through this passage every single day. There is no alternative route that can handle the same volume, no pipeline network capable of replacing it. This is not just an important corridor, it is an essential one for global stability. Beneath the surface, the conditions make it even more dangerous. The water here is relatively shallow. The seabed sits at depths ideal for mine warfare. In shallow water, explosive force travels upward with greater intensity. A single device resting on the ocean floor can direct a powerful blast into the hull of a passing tanker. The same geography that makes this corridor efficient for global trade also makes it uniquely vulnerable. Naval mines are not complex weapons. Their effectiveness comes from patience, not sophistication. At their core, they are containers filled with explosives, designed to wait silently. Some float just below the surface, anchored to the seabed. When a ship makes contact, they detonate instantly. Others sit on the ocean floor, equipped with sensors. They detect changes in magnetic fields. They also detect acoustic signatures or pressure shifts caused by passing vessels. Some are programmed to respond only to specific combinations of these signals, making them extremely difficult to trigger unintentionally. And then there are the most advanced types, devices that remain completely silent until the right target passes overhead. At that moment, they launch an explosive charge upward through the water, reaching the hull in seconds. No warning, no visible threat, no time to react. These weapons do not need to be numerous to be effective. They only need to exist in enough places that no one can be certain where it is safe to travel. That uncertainty is what changes everything. The deployment itself did not require a large navy. Small boats were enough. Crews moved quickly, often at night, releasing mines into the water within minutes. But the process was not precise. Records were incomplete. Coordinates were not always logged. No single authority maintained a full map of what had been deployed. And then the ocean began to move them. Currents shift, tides change, mines drift. A device placed in one location can end up somewhere else days or weeks later. The result is not just a minefield. It is a minefield without boundaries. So why not simply clear them? The answer is that clearing mines is one of the slowest operations. Specialized vessels move through the water at extremely low speeds, scanning the seabed with sonar. Every anomaly must be investigated. Every suspected device must be approached carefully. Sometimes ROVs are used to place charges next to the mines. Sometimes human divers are required. They attach explosives and retreat before detonation. Each operation takes hours. Now multiply that by hundreds, or even thousands of devices scattered across a critical shipping lane. Even under ideal conditions, it would take months to clear. And these are not ideal conditions. The environment is constantly changing. Mines drift into areas that were previously cleared. New uncertainties appear as old ones are removed. Clearing a path today does not guarantee it will remain clear tomorrow. And there is another problem. There is no complete map of the minefield. On land, minefields are often documented, even if imperfectly. There is at least a starting point. Here, that starting point does not exist. The country that deployed the mines does not have a full record. Which means there is no moment when anyone can say the water is completely safe. Only that it is safer than it was before. That distinction matters greatly. Because global trade depends on certainty. And right now, certainty does not exist. The effects are immediate. Shipping slows, costs rise, insurance premiums increase. Some vessels reroute, adding days or weeks to their journeys, impacting supply chains. Governments release strategic reserves to stabilize supply, but those reserves are finite. Every day the situation continues, the strain grows, and the impact spreads far beyond energy markets. Fuel prices rise, transportation costs increase, the price of goods begins to reflect the disruption. The entire system feels the pressure. At the same time, the situation becomes more than just a technical problem. It becomes political. Clearing the water requires coordination between multiple parties. It requires access, cooperation, and trust, and those elements are not always present. Even when there is agreement on the goal, the path to achieving it is slow and complicated. Every decision carries consequences beyond the immediate operation. Every delay extends the uncertainty. Eventually, the strait will reopen, traffic will return, the system will adjust. But something fundamental has changed. A relatively low-cost operation using simple technology. It has managed to disrupt one of the most critical arteries of the global economy, not through overwhelming force, but through persistence, unpredictability, and the difficulty of reversal. That is the real lesson. The effectiveness of a weapon is not only measured by the damage it causes. It is measured by how hard it is to undo afterward. Some of these devices will be found. Some will drift. Some may remain undetected for years, a silent threat. And every ship that passes through this corridor from now on will carry that knowledge with it. The water looks the same, the route has not changed, but the certainty that once defined it is gone. And once that certainty disappears, it does not fully return, it lingers, shaping decisions, influencing risk, redefining what it means for a passage to be truly safe. Somewhere on the seafloor, in the darkness, a device that cost less than a used car is still waiting. And for now, that is enough to hold the world's economy hostage.